Okay, thanks everyone for joining for our first Slugs press conference post the Vegas round of SuperCoach. I'm ready to take any questions from the weekend. Yes, starting over here.
Yes. Eugene Pritchard. Why would you start Atkinson in the 7 against the Bulldogs' defensive structure on a field which is also thinner than average?
Yeah, okay. Genie? Can I call you Genie?
No, please don't call me that.
Yeah, okay. Genie, don't appreciate your tone, but Atkinson, he didn't perform as well as we'd hoped. I will admit on my behalf it was probably an error starting him in the 7 for round 1 in a new team, new halves combination, smaller field than usual against a top 4 team from last year. I've probably made an error in judgment there. I did expect more points from him in run meters than what I saw this game. We're not giving up on Atkinson though. He probably won't feature in the 17 next week, but we're happy enough with his defensive work. You know, he really worked hard in defense. His king game was excellent. It didn't translate to SuperCoach points, finishing just over 30, but I have faith that, you know, he's going to grow as the season goes along on bigger fields, home ground. You know, I think there's plenty of upside there with Daniel Atkinson, even if it didn't come off for us in round 1. Next question.
Yeah, Graham Grub Talbot here. My sources tell me that you were out on the town instead of watching the game. Are your vices more important to you than the team's performance?
Yeah, alright, Grub. Alright, mate. We didn't see you leave the pokies area for basically the whole weekend, so cool your jets. I was watching the games astutely. I was checking the scores. I am very dedicated to my team.
Well, if you're so astute, how come you don't have Trey Mooney in your side?
Oh yeah, okay, you got a fair point there. I made an error not starting with Trey Mooney. I thought maybe he'd be a 45, 50-point player. He still might be, but he has had an excellent start. He got the line break with that try to get him up to 90 right in the last 10 minutes. That hurt a little bit as a non-owner. And Trey Mooney, he was in the team for most of the preseason. He got cut pretty late in the piece. I guess he was out to prove a point to the Slugs. He's definitely still on our radar for the next couple of weeks. We're not giving up on Trey. He's got that dual front row forward, second row forward, so there's every chance we get him in. Who for? That's a great question. You'll have to wait until the rest of the team is announced this week. Next question. You.
Hey mate, Mick Donnelly here. Your cheapies went really well. Rookie contracts for Setu 2, Tom Chester, looking very promising. Were you happy with their output?
Yeah, I was very, very impressed with Tom Chester in particular. I knew Setu 2 had pretty good base and tackle busting ability. Great to see him get a try. Outside of Gutherson and Val Holmes, I can see him scoring a lot of tries this year. They love to go to the wings, and you've got Val Holmes who's so good at the tip-on, as is Gutherson, and Gutherson can really draw and pass really well, so I'm pretty confident 2 might be a play most weeks, to be honest. But Tommy Chester really surprised me. We took a punt on this guy. He only has a contract for the first 2 rounds so far, but came out and basically in all base and power knocked out a 60. He's looking stronger than I remember, and he really rolled the sleeves up and wanted to get some work done. So we're very excited with Tommy, and there's every chance that he gets a contract extension, which he almost thoroughly deserves. We've just got to wait to see if Zach Labutt comes into that team.
And how did you evaluate Hayward's performance?
Yeah, I was content with how Bailey went. He didn't get in our team, as I'm sure you know, but he is a key cog in our money-making strategy, and he's a key reserve. I would love to see him run the ball more. I'd love to see him do some more kicking and be a bit more creative, but you know, the guy, he makes his tackles, he gets in there. It was a 90-minute game, so he got a little bit more than he would otherwise, but I think most weeks we're going to see a little bit more in attack from him. So I think his floor is probably around that 40-45, so he's going to make money no matter what for us. And we're pretty confident that he's the right buy and he's the right fit for the team. Next question. Yes, in the back there.
Daniel Harrow. Toby Couchman looked excellent pickup with really good versatility. Will you be looking at his brother Ryan after his performance?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Toby, I was very impressed with Toby. I was worried he'd be a 60-point player. He got helped a little bit by extra time and getting an extra 9 to 10 minutes. But, he works hard, and when I watched him, he actually looked really good. He ran hard. He looks like he's going to be capable of breaking tackles. He's a hard worker. Toby's going to be a linchpin in our forward pack for the first half of this season, at least, I think. And definitely looking at Ryan Couchman, I thought he'd be looking at 35, 40 minutes, but the guy he has a huge motor. He just tackles and tackles. He puts in his hit-ups. I think he could be a smoky to join the team for maybe round 3. And I'm sure Toby would love that. It'd probably boost team morale.
Lukey too looked very good. Will you be looking at a longer-term option in his contract?
Oh, Heelan was so good. Seeing him go out and get a 90. I was pretty happy with Couchman's 75, but Heelan Lukey's 90, and he looked good, rolled up the sleeves. He hits holes well, he's dangerous, he can break tackles. This guy, this is why he's got a long-ish term contract for our team, and it's why we were so excited to watch him come in. And so he's going to earn that starting back row spot more often than not, I think you'll find. Yeah.
Sophie Navarro here. Drinkwater had a shocker. You must be very disappointed, given he was your marquee signing. Will you downgrade him to Ponga, perhaps?
Yeah, Drinky did not have a good day. We're not completely giving up on him. He had a rib cartilage injury in the first half, which obviously struck down his minutes, but also seemed to hamper him and his confidence through the game. So I'm not sure if we're going to see Drinky retain his spot in the team. Rib cartilage sometimes takes a while to heal properly. You can get needled up, but yeah, yes, he was on a long-ish term contract too. I think we had him for the first 13 rounds or something. There is a clause in his contract. We've got a very good legal team here at the Slugs. There's a clause in his contract that says if there are any injury doubts, his contract can be terminated. And we are definitely looking at Kalyn Ponga. He proved me wrong. I didn't think he'd come out and brain it the way he did. He was fantastic out there. A lot of first receiver stuff too, which kind of makes sense with the halves that they have. And he looked good. He looked fit. He kicked well. Ball playing was good. Running game was pretty solid. His goal kicking, which is something else. Drinky didn't kick goals, which we were a bit surprised about. So it's very likely that Kalyn's going to come into the team for round 2. Yes. Final question. Go.
Karen Walker here. How do you get the rest of the team to combine with the lot that have just played?
Yeah, your voice is horrible to listen to, but I'll answer your question. Yes, we have... Most of the team hasn't played yet, but these boys have, and they kicked their feet up for the next week or two. Oh, that's good. Yeah, they kicked their feet up for the next week or two. There'll still be a training with the other boys, and the other boys are only coming into the full trainings now, so these guys will learn a break over the weekend, but we're going to find some synergies there. Like, sure, Dan Atkinson didn't have the best game, but when we bring in a start 8 to complement him, and then we've also got a reserve halfback who I'm pretty confident is going to have a good year. I think you'll see everything kind of come together, and we'll build a strong team, especially with the team list being announced on Tuesday. So check in later this week. We'll have the announcement of the rest of the team and the rest of our signings. So thank you for joining me, and so I'm pretty confident we're in for a good season. Until later in the week, keep on slugging, guys.